Today, I want to share with you how to develop a winning attitude, especially for network marketing distributors. But I know, of course, the topic of attitude is something that probably everyone, whatever industry it is you are in, I think how to develop a winning mindset is, I think, a very, very important topic. So today I'm going to discuss about, especially network marketing, how top winners think, how they act, and how they succeed, of course, through their mindset. To begin with, I want us to understand when someone says when they say mindset, what do they mean? And the mindset is basically a set of attitudes, a set of beliefs, it's a set of assumptions that generally shape the way we think, the way we feel, the way we act, when it comes to different situations. For example, it's basically your internal lens with which you look at the world, because you can see two people in the same world, but they are basically thinking different, or they're interpreting situations and circumstances differently. It is the way you look at opportunities. You're going to see some people looking at opportunity in one way and another person looking at opportunity in another way, but it's the same opportunity. So basically, the difference is with the mindset. I was once in one network marketing company. I think it was a Philippine-based organization, and I think I'd been in that organization. Those of us who have read my books, The Master Key to Network Marketing Success, and I think in this video there is a link that will where you can buy that book. But in that book, I talk about how I'd been in this company for about 1 month and a half, and no one had joined me. I was trying to talk to people, but no one had joined me. And I almost quit. But one thing that prevented me from quitting, I asked myself that, how come it's taking me longer to get a person, to convince someone, a customer, a prospect to join the business, and yet there are many more people who are selling the big packages? Maybe there's something they know that I don't know. Because I think it's not anything wrong with the opportunity. I think there's something wrong with me. And I think I was right. There was something wrong with my mindset. And basically, the more, when I changed my perspective about this opportunity, and I started realizing that probably it was me with a problem, and not even probably a static problem, but a problem which I can solve. There's a skill I could learn. I could learn from them. If they're doing it, I can do it. That's when I think my mindset changed. And I think after a very short period of time, if you read the book, I was able to get people started and eventually became the top distributor in that company. So basically, that's what we talk about mindset. So I want to suggest that if you want success that you don't have right now, the answer is your mindset. If you want more success than the one you want right now, the answer is mindset. If there's someone with better results than you right now, the answer is mindset. If there's someone who is driving your dream car and you're wondering, how can I drive this dream car? The answer is what? Is mindset. But we're going to study two types of mindset. They always say that you have a fixed mindset, and then you also have a growth mindset. And the definition of a fixed mindset is the kind of mindset that believes that abilities, intelligence, and talents are static. Basically, this mindset believes that you can reach a level whereby you cannot grow further. You can reach a level whereby you cannot, you cannot push further. So they believe that abilities, intelligence, and talents are static. They cannot grow, they cannot increase. So basically, they have the feeling of Mbedeyo, Sicha Inacha Kola. I've done everything. Mukama anayamba. Those kinds of sayings that we have. So the moment you say like that, you have basically said, I cannot do anything further. I was once watching a documentary. It's called Beyond the Secret. So there's a documentary called The Secret, where I think, Bob Proctor is actually both of them. So anyway, there's a documentary called The Secret. And there's another one called Beyond the Secret. So this lady who did Beyond the Secret, she had, of course, studied the law of attraction, which is the secret, And she said she realized that whenever she would be in a situation where she has a deadline, she would, be very positive and all that, and she would eventually deliver. Now, in scenarios where she didn't have a deadline, she didn't deliver. So basically, she was using a secret, which is the law of attraction. So whenever she was in pressure, she would remember, oh my goodness, I think I have the law of the secret. So I have the law of attraction. She would say, I can do it, I can push, I can push, I can push. Then she realized that she's so good at pushing when there was a deadline, when things are hard, probably when the data is demanding, the landlord is on your neck, the exam is near, and that's when you can push. Then she said, what if I can do what I have done with pressure in the shortest time possible? Basically, this is what she was saying. If I can read for my exam within like the last 24 hours before the exam, and I still am able to push maybe, 16 straight hours of reading, and I grasp so much in that short period of time. What if my thinking that, I am sluggish, I am slow, maybe things are not working out? What if my thinking is the problem? What if I can use the law of attraction early enough when I am not in problems? Now, that's the gist of the law of the documentary about Beyond the Secret. It's something good. You can look for it. So basically, this lady, she realized that actually, while before the deadline, she's feeling, I am stuck, I don't know how to do. When I go to read, I'm just giving an example of a student. When I go to read, I feel sleepy. I'm looking for money. It's nowhere to be seen. And yet, eventually, when you are put on too much pressure, you are able to do it. So she realized that what if my thinking that there is a problem is the problem? And I think for many of us, whenever you feel that you are stuck, always remember this mantra. What if my thinking that I'm stuck? What if my thinking that I am broke? What if my thinking that there are no opportunities? What if my thinking that, there are no jobs? What if my thinking that the prospects are over? What if my thinking that products expensive my customers cannot buy? What if that thinking is the problem? At the moment you start thinking that maybe your thinking is the problem, you have now gone from the fixed mindset to the second type of mindset, which is the growth mindset. So the growth mindset is the one that believes that abilities, talents, and intellect are not static. They can be developed, they can be grown, you can improve, you can become better, and I think that's a growth mindset. And I want to implore all of us to make sure that you have a growth mindset in whatever it is that you are doing. Now let us go further to my notes, and I want to talk about success versus your mindset. And we are saying that many times when we are thinking about success, we generally think about, strategies in Kozenchi. What can I do? What are the strategies? What is that special business? Sometimes I do business talks, and one of the questions I'm asked, what are your secrets? What business can I do? Can you tell me what? So basically, these people are probably thinking that there is a special secret that must be done. There's a way that must be done. There's a book that you must read. There's a code that you must crack for you to be able to have success. And I want to say that actually there's a very direct correlation between a positive or a growth mindset with success. So I want to suggest that actually before strategies, before secrets, before anything else happens, the first step towards becoming successful is working on your own mindset. I've been able to achieve so many things in my life that I never thought I would achieve, and the only reason why I've achieved them is during that point I said, I believe in myself, I can do it, it is possible. Or when I put myself in the situation like what I've just shared with you about my friend who did the documentary Beyond the Secret. When you put yourself in a situation, come and buy, come rain or shine, I must do this all together. Or when you put yourself in a situation whereby probably you have too much pressure, it is time maybe for your kids to go to school, they must go to school tomorrow and you don't have school fees. Generally, there's a way you normally think, and you're able to get the school fees. So it shows you that during that time when you say, come and buy, come rain or shine, I must do it. I cannot, go home without achieving this kind of goal. That's when eventually success comes. So you realize that nothing changed. You didn't become taller. You didn't become increase the money. Nothing really happened. The whole thing, the whole idea was written or was inside your mind, which is the mindset. That's the positive correlation or the relationship between success and your mindset. Then, so what are some of the ways for us to be able to develop a growth mindset? One of the key things I tell, especially my friends who are in network marketing, or those of us who are in business, is to develop a long-term mentality towards success. Like basically, know that success will not happen tomorrow, but then again, the world is also not ending tomorrow. So when you develop a long-term mentality towards success, then you give yourself an opportunity to start afresh, to work without pressure, to probably long-term strategies, and you're going to become good. One time I found myself, and I think I wrote about it in my book, The Perfect Pitch, and I've asked my team to put the links of my books in the video that you're watching. But in that book, I remember I wrote about a scenario where I realized that I'm not so good at inviting and prospecting. And I've been trying so much, but I realized that, I'm not so good at prospecting and inviting. I'm not so good at prospecting and inviting. I'm not good at talking to people. I'm not good at presenting to them. I'm not good at approaching them. And yet I realized that I'm in network marketing. It is my business. It is my thing. So for as long as I'm in network marketing, the moment I'm not good at prospecting and inviting, then I'll never become good at all. So what I decided to do, I realized that I cannot have a quick fix towards this. So I decided to make a decision, and I think I've almost achieved it really, maybe to 90% of my ability. I decided that I'm going to read every article ever written on the subject of prospecting and inviting. I'm going to read every book of network marketing, and I'm going to read only on the subject of prospecting and inviting. Actually, let me not even make myself a genius. I learned that from an audio. If you can look for that audio, from Matt Morris. There's a guy called Matt Morris. He's a networker. He wrote a book on network marketing. Am I not going to make a mistake? He wrote a book on network marketing called The Unemployed Millionaire, something related to that. But he did an audio called 7 Secrets to 7 Figures. And in that audio, he showed how he had moved from earning zero to becoming a top earner in that company in 1 year. But one of the strategies he used, he said that he decided to become an expert. And being an expert is reading 5 books on the same subject, because many people have not read 5 books on the same subject. So with that philosophy, I said, let me read everything I can read strictly on the thing that I lack, which was prospecting and inviting. And I'm telling you, I read, and for 3 months I was buried myself in only that subject, that area where I'm weak. And I'm telling you, within a very short time, I was able to grow a very, very, very big team. And after 1 year, I became the top earner still in that company. You can be able to say. So it shows you that when you have this long-term mentality about success, about your abilities, you say, I'm not good at prospecting, read it, take your time. I'm not good at presenting, read it and take your time. I'm not good at finances, come on. How long are you going to complain? Read about it. Give yourself 1 year and you say, I'm going to track my finances. I'm not very good at public speaking. I was once there. Come on, read every book you can read on public speaking, attend public speaking events, try to talk publicly, you become good. So basically, the moment you develop a long-term mentality towards success, magic always does what happens. I'm also going to talk about the second way in which you can develop a growth mindset, and that is have relentless self-belief and confidence. Have relentless self-belief and confidence. Now, the key word here is relentless. Relentless means something that is unending, something that you always keep on trying and trying. You go back and forth. You basically have relentless self-belief and self-worth confidence. And all the time, you have met in situations whereby you doubt yourself, you don't believe in yourself. What you do, believe in yourself. You meet hard situations, believe in yourself. Basically, develop the attitude of Albert Einstein, the one who discovered the light bulb. Yes. It's Albert Einstein. And the idea is that he had relentless self-belief and confidence in himself that every time he failed, he said, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. And he did it, I think 1,000 times failing, and then probably after 1,000 times, he was able to do it. So even in network marketing, it's the same. I remember I spent 5 years of my network marketing journey broke, very, very average. And it was only after 5 years of not giving up, 5 years of trial and error, 5 years of people calling me a loser, 5 years of people rejecting me, 5 years of people telling me I'll never do it. Eventually, by my 5th year, I was able to grow very big. By my 6th year, I was significantly very successful. So how come in 5 years I was not successful, but in 1 year or almost 2 years, I was able to become successful? It's because I had relentless self-belief that every time I tried and failed, and tried and failed, and tried and failed, and tried and failed, I was learning, I was becoming better. I was just like that bamboo tree, that Japanese bamboo tree that's put in the soil, and it spends so many years, and then probably after 7 years, it grows very fast. Why has it grown very fast? It's because below the ground, when you are failing but you are trying, when you are when people don't seem to see the results but you are doing your very best, there's something that is happening, just like it is happening in the Japanese bamboo tree. Then point number 2 or point number 3 in developing a growth mindset is to have to have resilience. The word is resilience. To have resilience in the face of challenges. Resilience is that power. The power to stay, the power to keep on, the power to remain strong, the power to become aggressive even when there are challenges. I once did a talk and I said that one of the greatest dream stealers is challenges. Why challenges? They cripple your mind. You basically, and I said that during the time with my own story anyway. So there was a time I had a very, very interesting landlord, very tough landlord, and I was staying at Finnish University, and I was staying in Chikoni, in a place called Chikoni Chiunya. It's a slum behind the slum, very interesting place. So I was staying in Chiunya there, and there was a small apartment there. And the truth is that things were not working out. I was in this networking company, and sales were not coming in. Things were not working out. And then time reached, and I was so much behind with my rent, and I think I was behind with rent for over 3 months. So my landlord started coming so early to get me then, and I of course also got a tactic for him. I would also leave so early. So whenever I would come, he'd find when I'm left. Then lo and behold, this guy, what he decided to do was to come earliest. He started coming even before the cock started crowing. So you'll hear his motorcycle, he's in the parking. So what I decided to do was stay in the house, hoping he will go. And the whole day, the guy remained there, and he probably left past midnight. I suffered in the room, closed in that house. And then the following day, I said, you know what, I'll leave so early. He repeated the same thing. The guy came so early. I don't know, maybe God was saying he was in the house. And he came so early and left so late. So I was in the house for the second day. Now, true story. Then I decided that on the third day, I will go so early. Now, this time he still came so early. And then by the third day, I really cancelled myself. Now, let me ask you something. What am I supposed to do when I don't have rent? Is it to hide in my landlord's house? I think the right answer, if I was asking you, the right answer would be to go and look for the rent. The rent will not get itself. So basically, it is during that time that I remember the movie. What's this movie? What's this story? Prison Break. Now, in the movie Prison Break, I will. I know I've taken long without watching it, so don't judge my facts. But this is how I remember what inspired me really against my landlord anyway. So what happened was, in the movie Prison Break, of course, as you know, there's a guy called Barros who is framed for killing, I think he's framed for killing someone. His brother Michael Scofield, who is a very brilliant architect, structural engineer, he decides to go to the prison, break him out. And they tried, and then finally they break into the prison. And once they break out of the prison, and they are being chased by, I think, the prison warden. I don't remember the name. Maybe you remember the name. You can type the name in the comments. So basically, he chases them, then he fails. Then what they do, they eventually bring a very serious detective. This guy was called Mahone, Alexander Mahone. And Mahone was very serious. He had instructions of, I think, shoot to kill and all that. So Mahone was very, very serious. So, and whenever he killed one and just and killed another, then one day Scofield said, but sincerely, how long am I going to keep running? If you remember the scenario. So Michael Scofield said, I'm going to stop running. I remember well, I think he goes to the internet cafe and searches about Alexander Mahone and starts to dig some dirt against Alexander Mahone, and eventually, wow, he finds some dirt. I think he had killed someone and buried them in their backyard. Some of you remember the movie very much better than me. But basically, one day, Alexander Mahone is in, I don't know, the detective office, and he receives a phone call. And guess who is calling him? Hello, Alex, this is Michael Scofield. And he's shocked. He's surprised that the person supposed to run away, he's actually called him. And then Scofield mentions, I think, the name of the person that he killed and buried in the backyard. And Alexander Mahone freezes. Alexander Mahone moves from being the hunter to becoming the what? The hunted. If you remember, of course, the movie changes course from there. But the point I'm trying to make is that generally when we have problems, what happens is that we keep on running away, Problems cripple us. They become a dream stealer. Someone is broke and they don't have money for rent like me. They're hiding in the house. Someone has the problems and they are not working. Why? Because, I don't know, they don't have the energy to work. Someone has been chucked. Instead of moving away, they are not eating, they are crying, they are developing ulcers. So one of the key things that I've learned about becoming successful, becoming that kind of person who has the resilience that even during the time when you have problems that are supposed to cripple your mind, problems that you're supposed to keep on chasing you, what you do, go after the problems and you face them. And what I did after remembering the scenario of Michael Scofield, I remember getting out of the house on the third day, and my landlord was in the compound and was surprised to see me. Said, Muhoza, where's my man? I sat down in this office because I knew the worst that he can do was to kill me, which he cannot do. I talked to him. I said, excuse me, sir, I'm sorry I don't have your money, but I promise you I will get your money within 1 month's time. But please give me a break. And eventually, of course, it was tough and all that, but I faced him straight in the eyes and told him, I will get your money, sir. I was respectful, but very firm. And eventually he accepted. The following day, I was moving like a free person. Of course, I started making phone calls to make sales so that I can earn commission and pay him, and indeed I was able to do it. So basically, whenever you are faced with challenges, always have resilience. Then the other one is that point number 4, I think I hope I've not lost count, but we're talking about strategies to develop a growth mindset, and that is have discipline over motivation. Basically, motivation fades. We've all been at that church someone where the pastor preaches and you're like, oh my goodness, back to Christ. Then before you know it, you backslide. So that was motivation, and it was not discipline. So one of the key things that I would really want to encourage anyone doing network marketing, anyone doing business, anyone who has become successful, have discipline. And discipline is about having non-negotiables within your life. Ask yourself, what are those things that I must do every day? What are those standards I must do every day? Come rain, come shine, whether I feel like doing it or not. And I think it is very, very, very important. I remember those days whenever I'd started trying to go to the gym. Don't worry, I don't have 6 packs, but I go. But for my health. But the idea is that when I started going to the gym, it was hard for me. I paid for many subscriptions. It was very hard until I think at a point it became very non-negotiable for me, and eventually I was able to start going to the gym. So basically, it is about having that discipline. Then lastly, especially for network marketing, is to have servant leadership. Be the kind of person who is a servant leader, because remember that we are in a people business. So make sure that you always have servant leadership. You focus on helping people and helping them to become very, very, very successful. I want to end, friends, with a quote from Henry Ford that says, whether you think you're right or you're wrong, no, whether you think you can or you can't, you are right. Whether you think you can or you can't, you are right. And that's Henry Ford. So I promise you, always think that you can and you'll always be right. Thank you so much.